Newsletter, February 2021.
Hello and welcome to our newsletter. I do hope you enjoy all of the articles, helpful hints and general information on where you can access support. We are always interested in what you think about the publication, so please let us know. As I write this, we are still unable to reopen Millbrook House and provide our usual activities because of the continuing lockdown. I'm hoping that with the rollout of the vaccines, things will gradually improve. Let's hope with the arrival of the warmer weather, this will allow us to at least have a cup of tea in the garden with a friend. Our staff, so ably led by Lisa Hollowhead, are always looking to the future and finding innovative ways to expand the services we can offer. Chris Kane, who's marketing, and Susan Early, volunteers and members, are making sure everything is running smoothly with our publicity and our members. Our QR code is proving very popular and is being used by the police and Hover Travel, and Lisa has lots of plans to develop this further. Elaine Bricknell has already organised training for the volunteers who wish to take part in the befriending scheme. And Debbie Durbridge, our Dress for Less shop manager, although unable to open the shop at the moment, is selling clothing through Facebook. Jasmine Edwards, our Education and Young Person Officer, is building up our contact list, ready for when she can go into schools again. The trustees and I are so grateful for all the work the staff put in. They're always helpful and always putting in that bit extra. May I also thank all the volunteers. We couldn't function without you. If you would like to join or can offer more than one way of helping, please contact us. There's always plenty of support from the staff and someone to answer any queries, as the telephone is always operational during office hours. I'm sure you know, but here it is again. Our telephone number is 01983 522 205. The trustees are still holding all their meetings online, so the business of the charity is ongoing. We are very aware of everything previous committees have achieved. 125 years worth and rising. As always, we want to improve on the services we can offer and keep Sight for Wight in a good place for the future. All the best, Sue.
CEO Update, read by Lisa. January certainly seemed to move forward very slowly, but now with the weather cheering up a little and the days getting longer, we feel 2021 is finally getting underway. In this newsletter, we are paying tribute to one of our much-loved volunteers, Mel, who sadly passed away. Mel had been a very friendly face here at Sight for Wight for many years. I spoke with Mel a couple of weeks ago and he wanted to thank us. He said how much pleasure he got from helping people and how grateful he therefore was for having the chance to do just that. Later in the issue is a full tribute to Mel, and we hope, once restrictions allow, to celebrate Mel and say a heartfelt thank you. Our Alexa skill is coming along nicely, and we should be ready to launch by the end of March as planned. We're very excited to be one of only 2 UK sight loss charities who have their own skill, and I really believe it will offer a wealth of resource to people just by using their voice. Opposite this, I am delighted to give an update on the Audible QR code Hello Everyone. That was received numerous press coverages over the last month. We've also included a leaflet on e-scooters. This is a very difficult area as they are government backed, but they do cause hazards for people with sight loss. We took the view to work with Beryl, who hold the Isle of Wight contract, to try and get the best possible outcome for the island. This does not detract from the work being done nationally to lobby the needs of VI people if they are to be legalised. Hello everyone, Audible QR code article read by Lisa. As a charity, we are always looking for innovative ways of helping our members in their daily lives. We believe we have found a very significant way of doing this. We want every visually impaired person to feel confident in their surroundings in their everyday lives, not just when someone is there to help. Two aims. There are two aims: to allow a visually impaired person to walk into a building with confidence and to have access to the written word without restriction. How? To provide audible information on surroundings and turn the written word into voice using Hello Everyone Audible QR codes. My vision is twofold: to get the QR codes onto every public building so anyone entering knows the layout and where to find a human being. And secondly, replacing the written word on every food label, letter and menu so that the words can be heard. Entering a building when you're VI, quoting one of our trustees, who is a guide dog user, is like bumbling around like a blind person. No one wants to be that person. Instead, scanning a QR code that will give you the layout and the confidence to find a human being is all that is needed.
A tribute to Mel Barnes. It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of a very popular and loved volunteer, Mel Barnes. Mel began volunteering in 1996 after his retirement from Southern Water, joining his wife, who was already a volunteer. Mel soon began helping out with a variety of activities, including holidays, maintenance, home visits, emergency transport, minibus driver and escort, but more recently he planned and supported the striders and strollers on many a walk around the island and on the mainland. We spoke to Mel earlier this year. He recounted several stories of people so thrilled to regain some lost independence by joining groups led by him. He honestly could not have been more pleased to be given the opportunity to do this. Thank you, Mel. We thought the most fitting tribute would be to recount one of those stories. The following is from Danielle Burgess, a member of his Striders group.
I first met Mel back in 2011 on a Sight for Wight Striders walk, which, for me, was a baptism of fire. I cannot remember the walk in question, but I was struck at how Mel made me feel welcome to his merry band of walkers. The walk itself was very challenging, with steep gradients, downhill slopes and copious amounts of mud, which I soon realised was to be a regular feature of Mel's walks. As a newbie and not the fittest, Mel would often take my arm and gently bring me to the front to lead the way. It was on those occasions that Mel and I would chat, and he would tell me some of his wonderful holidays, which always involved trains, another of his passion. Our Striders walks were never dull, and it never ceased to amaze me how he managed to find such interesting walks across our beautiful island, always doing a recce first. Thanks to Mel, I can proudly say that I am now able to do 5 to 6 mile walk with relative ease. Mel was not a huge fan of dogs, and I still remember when our group went from having 2 guide dogs to 5 on occasions. Mel's heart must have sunk. The dogs always knew when Mel was about, as there was a possibility of an exciting walk to follow. At the end of our walks, our reward was a pub lunch, and, for the most part, Mel come up trumps and always managed to locate a suitable eatery. At the end of the day, Mel would sometimes say to me, "Hope we will see you next month," with a wry grin and twinkle in his eye, even though I would return home with achy limbs and, in more recent times, a very muddy Bailey. The sense of achieving one of Mel's walks always left me with a warm glow. So thank you, Mel, for helping me gain confidence to do challenging walks and introducing me to some wonderful fellow striders and sighted guiders. Danielle.
Mel will always be remembered by his caring nature, sunny smile, but most of all for his cowboy hat he donned during any type of weather. You will be so greatly missed and, once restrictions allow, we will walk in his honour. Sight for Wight team.
Census March 2021. Despite the coronavirus pandemic, the census is still currently planned to go ahead on Sunday the 21st of March 2021. By completing your census survey questionnaire, you are helping to provide, amongst many other things, vital data on the population of blind and partially sighted people throughout England and Wales that informs decisions on services tailored to supporting the visually impaired, such as healthcare, education and transport. You may have heard that this year the census is going to be an online form. Whilst completing the survey electronically is potentially easier, more cost efficient and more accurate for the government, it of course can prove very much more challenging for visually impaired people. We have had several meetings with Ursula, the island census officer, and have found 3 immediate ways to help. Whilst the official advice is get a friend, family member or neighbour to fill it in for you, we wanted to ensure that taking account of the lockdown situation, which is likely to continue, this is not a very practical solution. What is the process? At the beginning of March, each household will receive their unique census access code in the post. This is your unique code and you need to keep it safe. For those who can, you can then go online and complete your census on any smartphone, tablet, computer or laptop. You can use Android, Windows or Apple. Alternately, you can then choose a traditional paper version by calling the census office, quoting your unique code, and they will send you a form. However, following our discussion, there is a third way to complete the census. It is the first way we can help you. You can call either the National Census line or Sight for Wight and your answers will be recorded for you. The second way we can help is by providing any information provided by the census team in Braille or in an audio format, so please do not hesitate to ask. Finally, the third way we can help is we have already recorded the information booklet into an audio format for which you can listen to by scanning this QR code, or you can hear it on our Sight for Wight YouTube channel.
Spotlight on Tina Snow. My name is Tina Snow, and I have had involvement with then named Isle of Wight Society for the Blind since my childhood. I would like to give you a glimpse into my life as a totally blind person. I was born in January 1968 and have a twin sister, Karen. There is only 5 minutes between us. I was born with no sight and my eye condition is retinopathy of prematurity. This is when the eyes are not developed fully and when the retina is exposed to oxygen in an incubator. This is very common in the 1950s and 60s, but is now largely preventable by covering the eyes when a baby is in an incubator. I was privileged to have the opportunity to be educated in both mainstream and specialist education. I attended St Thomas of Canterbury Primary School, then Somerton Middle School, and then on to Cowes High School. I had a one-to-one helper, Greta Matthews, who loyally supported me through my childhood years by reading everything from the blackboard. I would write everything onto a Perkins Brailler. When it came to homework, Mrs Matthews would transcribe it into print and handwrite above the Braille. She taught me and herself by using a Braille primer, a manual for sighted people to teach Braille. There were no computers in those days. The local authority were extremely supportive of myself and my parents. The RNIB wanted to send me away to a specialist school at the age of 3, which my parents strongly objected to. I'm so grateful that, by remaining on the island through my childhood, I formed a strong bond with my family and experienced fulfilling and happy early years. At the age of 16, I attended the Royal National College for the Blind, Hereford, where I learnt valuable life skills and independence, as well as gaining qualifications in Braille shorthand and audio typing. In our free time, we had a great social life, rambling on the Malvern Hills, ice skating and pony trekking most weekends. At the age of 19, I went on a youth training scheme at Plessy Radar, Cowes, where I took minutes and did audio typing. In 1989, I successfully applied for a grant from the Prince's Youth Business Trust and set up my own typing agency from the back bedroom in a former home in Mill Hill Road in Cowes. The highlight of this part of my life was that I had the honour and privilege to type the manuscripts for Dr. Eric Laidlaw, who wrote a book about the history of the sanatorium for chest diseases, which was situated in Ventnor Botanic Gardens. I then went on to type a second book for Dr. Eric Laidlaw about the history of the Isle of Wight hospitals, which included St Mary's, the early workhouse, Frank James, Ryde and Shanklin hospitals. I am honoured to be listed in the acknowledgements of both of these books. Since 1993, I have worked in adult social care, doing audio typing and latterly minutes taking. It was a great cultural shock having to use Microsoft Teams for meetings with the sudden unwelcome arrival of COVID-19 and the many challenges it brings, including being unable to socially distance from others. I desperately miss socialising with family, friends and work colleagues, and do not like the remoteness of working from home. I live with my guide dog called Quiz. He is my 5th guide dog, and they have all transformed my life, giving me independence, freedom and confidence. After my 4th guide dog, Nuska, died unexpectedly, I had to adapt very quickly to using a long cane. I found it exhausting, with journey lengths doubling. My hobbies include playing the clarinet, going for country walks, listening to birdsong, the tranquility of the waves on the beach. As a person with no light or dark perception, I have no understanding of colour. My knowledge is very basic, e.g., I can compare white with the texture of snow, black with the sound of thunder, green with the smell of freshly cut grass, and blue with bright warm sunshine. I very much value the senses of sound, touch, smell, and hearing. By clicking my fingers or clapping, I am able to identify high buildings and the echo of passageways and open landscapes. I have always had a love for radio, and my wishes and aspirations would have been to be a radio presenter, newsreader, or a professional musician. We can all dream. My tip for the day is to put an elastic band on the hair conditioner to separate it from shampoo, as they usually feel the same. I hope you have enjoyed reading this article and found it informative and enlightening. Life is full of challenges, but once you achieve them, it is like reaching the summit of a mountain. Tina Snow.
Tips directly from members. I have always had difficulty opening jars and cans, even though I have a few gadgets, but then someone showed me this anti-slip mat, which has proven so helpful. I have chosen a high contrast colour to make it stand out. Audrey from Newport. You used to be able to buy magnetic tape to braille straight onto, but not anymore. Our solution: buy a roll of magnetic tape available, for example from Amazon, then braille onto regular sticky back braille tape. Cut both to size and stick together. These reusable markers can be stuck to tins of food, for example, and then used again and again. There are also tactile bands or a pen friend for those who do not use Braille. Lisa from Freshwater. I had resisted technology offered by my family, but this Christmas they bought me an Alexa. It was strange at first, talking to a speaker, but now she gets me up in the morning, times my eggs, plays my audiobooks, and I have even managed to get her to turn on my bathroom light. Carl from God's Hill. For those who have pets at home, attach a bell to their collar so it is easier to hear where they are. Sandy from Ryde.
Newsletter article, February 2021, from Elaine Bricknell. In the last newsletter, I introduced myself, having just taken on the role of befriending volunteers manager at Site for Wight. I thought I would give an update on what I've been doing since I started in December. I recently commissioned some bespoke training by the Befriending Network for all of the volunteer befrienders. The training webinar took place via Zoom and was really informative and useful. Thank you to all of the volunteers and trustees and staff who attended the training. I really appreciate your enthusiasm. Trustee Ruth Hollingshead and I have been busy telephoning over 200 members for a chat and to see if they want to join the befriending service. I'm currently matching up the volunteers with members so that the befriending can start imminently. The aim of befriending is to reduce feelings of loneliness and isolation by providing a regular phone call from a friendly volunteer. If you would like to find out more about becoming a volunteer or benefiting from the befriending service, please do not hesitate to contact me. Mrs. Elaine Bricknell. My email address is afriend@iwsb.org.uk. You can telephone me on 01983 522205. My working hours are Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you so much.
Trustee John Moore. Hello everyone, I am John, trustee and volunteer at Site for Wight, and always wearing two hats, although some days merge into one. When I wear my trustee's hat, I'm involved in board meetings, which can include finance matters, shaping lobbying, creating new projects and helping to plan fundraising events. As a volunteer, it is more of a hands-on job. I'm one of the team of minibus drivers. I can be driving the usual route to and from Millbrook House, transporting our members to their various club meetings, but now and again we also go out on adventures. Although it seems like yesterday, I know our trip to Rosemary Vineyard was in fact over a year ago. 2020 seems to not count somehow, but with an excellent guided tour of the premises, followed by wine, gin and whisky tastings. It was thoroughly enjoyed by all. Alas, of course, being the driver, I had to abstain. Such a shame. I also clearly recall on another excursion boarding the train at the Isle of Wight Steam Railway, including Smallbrook and Haven Street. We all became as excited as children, or maybe the famous five. Great fun, although with the windows being open on the train, we all emerged from the carriage with black smut in our hair. Laughter and chatter followed at the pub lunch, but I was driving as usual. A memorable trip involved a ride on the Cowes Harbour ferry from Cowes Marina to the Folly Inn. It was a blowy day, but this added to the thrill of the ride. We had lunch at the Folly Inn and then back on the boat to Cowes. Society has not been able to fulfil any day trips in 2020, and we have so missed our usual attendance at various fairs and shows on the island. But I'm hopeful we'll have a presence this year. I really miss the stalls and telling people about what we do, although I'm not sure about the Miss World sash I wear. I really enjoy and miss the company of our members, and I certainly miss the monthly short stroll and lunch at various venues on the island. Perhaps not so much when I am the driver. One thing has not lessened during 2020 is the request for my handyman skills, such as, John, could you just put up a handrail, move some cabinets, do a little painting, walls that is, not portraits. We need a blind put up at this window. Never get me wrong though, I thoroughly enjoy being involved with the team at Millbrook House and meeting and assisting our members. John Moore.
Looking out from lockdown. Bored? Looking for something to do during lockdown? Get out your pens, paints, glue, cotton, wool, material, camera and have a go in this interesting all-island time capsule project. Looking Out from Lockdown is an island-wide project celebrating the creativity of island people during the 3 national lockdowns of 2020 and 2021. In collaboration with the Lord Lieutenant of the Isle of Wight, Susie Sheldon, Local Arts for Wellbeing Charity Independent Arts is offering people the chance to exhibit their lockdown creations, be it painting, photographs, poetry, music, speech, pottery, writing, crafts, projects, inventions, baking, gardening or anything else creative completed to keep spirits up during lockdown. A compilation of all entries will be exhibited on their website, which will become a time capsule for our island community to admire and share in years to come. The plan is to hold physical exhibitions after restrictions end, so please save your creations. We at Sight for Wight believe it would be lovely if our members and volunteers all join together and take part in this exhibition as a charity. We have enclosed an eye in this newsletter for you to decorate in whatever way you wish. You could use paint, chalk, oils or glitter for example, or make a tactile collage with material of different shapes, sizes and textures. Anything at all which represents your feelings or how you have spent your time during lockdown in any form you want to. Please send it back to Millbrook House by March the 26th in the envelope provided. Please note you must add a stamp. If you have a painting, drawing, poem, piece of handicraft, story or a photograph you've taken of some pottery, your garden in bloom, an invention or a sculpture, then please also send these in to us. Our aim is then collate everything together and submit them as a Sight for Wight exhibit and forming part of the Sight for Wight history made in the year we are celebrating 125 years as a working charity. Finally, please remember to name every entry you send in.
Volunteer update. Although sadly we are still unable to meet and hold our activities for members, volunteers are still busy helping out in new ways and taking on different roles within the charity during lockdown. We have welcomed new talking news readers who now record their articles from their comfort of their own home and send to Chris every Friday. The new way is working well and members, although would prefer to receive it on a memory stick, are still able to listen to via Vectus Radio and Alexa. A huge thank you to all our readers for your time. Volunteers who were able to meet up via the new Zoom meeting had a lovely catch-up on the 4th of February. Many subjects were covered, including lockdown projects, TV programmes, jokes and just a general chat. And I would like to thank volunteers, trustees and staff for joining and look forward to the next Zoom catch-up on March the 4th at 10:30. More details to be sent out. But if anyone has been missed, please call the office and I will make sure details are sent to you. You can just dial in via your mobile or landline and we can supply you with the contact details. I know I speak on behalf of the CEO and staff at Sight for Wight as to how much we value all volunteers and hopefully we can all be back to our normal duties and new ones within the charity very soon. Take care and please stay safe. Susan.
Easter chicks for sale. Our volunteers are busy knitting these sweet little chicks in time for Easter. The chicks are priced at £2 each, including a Cadbury's cream egg, and can be collected from Millbrook House here in Carisbrooke, or we can post them out for £3.50. This is a minimum postage charge, I'm afraid, due to the size of the eggs, but this can include up to 10 eggs. Why not send a family of chicks to your loved ones? Each family can contain up to 7 eggs with your family name on the front. The baskets start from £10 for a family of 4, and additional eggs can be added for £2 each. Postage is £3.50, or they can again be collected.
Welcome to the first Terry's 20 Teasers. Questions 1 to 5 are about the island. Number 1. Where is the island's only windmill located? Number 2. What is the name of the only thatched church on the island? Number 3. What seafood is harvested around Newtown? Number 4. Has a cod been hatched? Is a cryptic clue for which island place name. Has a cod been hatched? Number 5. Where is the highest point on the island? Okay, the next 5 questions are about spring. The season, that is. Number 6. What spice comes from the crocus? Number 7. From what film does the song Spring, Spring, Spring come? Number 8. The first day of spring is called the vernal equinox. What does equinox mean? Number 9. What drug, used in very controlled doses, comes from the foxglove? And number 10. What date was Shakespeare referring to when Caesar was told to beware the Ides of March? Right, the next 5 questions are to do with nations. Number 11. What nationality was the composer Edward Elgar? Number 12. In which city is there a shroud thought to have belonged to Jesus? Number 13. Where are the Everglades? Number 14. What is the capital town of the Orkney Islands? And number 15. Which explorer discovered America in 1492? And the last 5 questions are simply called odds and ends. Number 16. What are the next 2 numbers after 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, something, something? Number 17. What 4-word phrase does this dingbat represent? ENTURY. Number 18. What is this? 12M of a J. And this, number 19, 180 MS at D. And finally, number 20, who was the best known recording of the song Juliet by? There we are, 20 questions.
Allcam special offer. Touchpoint Vision are offering Sight for Wight members an exclusive £350 discount on the My Smart Allcam reader. Please contact us for further details. Dress for less. Due to government restrictions, the shop is currently closed. However, this hasn't stopped me or our volunteers. Each day I post donated items of clothing onto our Dress for Less Facebook page, with free local delivery. You can find our page by searching for Dress for Less on Facebook and clicking on our Dress for Less logo, which is a dress enclosed in a circle stating Dress for Less. Mother's Day Pamper Hamper. Here at Dress for Less, we have managed to pull together this fabulous Mother's Day Pamper Hamper. Tickets are just £5. The draw will take place on March the 9th and we will deliver it to your door. You can send a cheque to Millbrook House or call 522205 to buy tickets using a credit or debit card. Good luck. The hamper includes Lanson champagne, Radley handbag, Lindt chocolates, Dress for Less voucher, DVDs with popcorn and a head-to-toe pamper kit.
And now the answers to the questions I asked in Terry's 20 teasers. The windmill is at Bembridge. Number 1, Bembridge. The church I mentioned, number 2, is St Agnes in Freshwater Bay. The seafood harvested around Newtown are oysters. Number 3, oysters. Number 4, has a cod been hatched? Fishborn. Oh dear. And the highest place on the island is St Boniface Down, 747 feet, or if you like it continental style, 241 metres. What spice does the crocus give us? Number 6, it's saffron. Number 7, the song Spring, Spring, Spring came from 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Number 8, what does the word equinox mean? Equal length, day and night. Number 9, the drug used in very controlled doses that comes from the foxglove is digitalis. Number 10, the date that Shakespeare was referring to when Caesar was told to beware the Ides of March was the 15th of March. Number 11, Elgar was British. Number 12, the shroud comes from Turin, or is kept in Turin, I should say, thought to be the shroud of Jesus. Number 13, the Everglades are in Florida. Number 14, the capital town of the Orkney Islands is Kirkwall. Kirkwall. Number 15, who discovered America in 1492? Christopher Columbus. Now that run of numbers, question 16, 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, the first couple of numbers increased by 1, the next two increased by 2, then 3, then 4. So the next increase will be 5, taking it to 16. And the following increase will be 6, taking it to 22. So those next two numbers were 16 and 22. That dingbat, question 17. ENTURY. It's very corny. Long time no see. Century? Oh dear. Number 18. 12 M of a J are 12 members of a jury. And 19. MS at D is 180 was the maximum score at darts. 180! And number 20, the best known recording of the song Juliet was by a group called the Four Pennies. So there we are. How did you do?